Perfect.
Okay, so this will be my first ride on the MultiStrada V4 Pikes Peak. I'm pretty excited. I wanted to ride this bike for a long time. My invitation to the official press launch must have gotten lost in the mail because I didn't get one. And that could be because I don't even know how to turn it on. But I want to figure it out. There we go. So, my first test is to get it off of a gravel road without crashing it in front of its owner, Mr. 5-Up. Mission accomplished. Alright. And now I gotta get used to the quick shift because I got these big boots on. There we go. Wow! Wow! Auto grip is fantastic. Man, this thing really puts down the power. Night and day difference power-wise from my GS. This feels more like a sport bike than a supposed than a supposed adventure machine. Man, and this thing just handles very nicely. Man, I love this thing. Only ridden it less than a mile and already love it. Love the power. Love the grunt that it makes. And that's with the stock exhaust. I'm gonna turn around. The brakes are phenomenal. The brakes are absolutely phenomenal on this bike. Man. See, look guys, I'm wearing big giant boots in small space to shift, but that's okay. And I'm in sport mode. Man, it's nice. And the more you rev it, the louder that grunt gets. What a fantastic bike. I almost don't feel right doing this on this type of machine, but the bike just begs for it. It begs to be leaned over and cornered as if it were a sport bike of sorts. My goodness, this thing just revs and revs. And look at that beautiful gauge cluster. Pretty much copied BMW's anti-glare technologies for this gauge cluster. Magnificent. What a beastly bike! What a savage bike! This is a sport bike in disguise.
I told you.
Absolutely. Wow. I'm in love. You can't have it back. Let's go. You ride that one. He likes my GS also. Oh, he's on his super tiptoes. That bike is so tall. This is, of course, lower than the GS. Wow. Turbo Warren taught us both a lesson. Man. Oh man, you talk about fun to be had on a motorcycle. This is it. This is it, folks. And Steve is riding that GS like an animal. Now I do feel a little bit of wind buffering a little bit on me that I don't feel on the GS, obviously, because the GS is a bigger bike. But aside from that, wow, super comfortable. And it has this little piece on the seat that your back hits when you're riding. It's really nice. It's almost like some sort of, you know, seat bracket or something, but obviously it's not. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now this bike doesn't come standard, the Pikes Peak version with heated grips. I would have to get that, and also a heated seat. But the adaptive cruise and the blind spot monitoring, which blind spot you see right here on the inner edges of the mirror, is fantastic. But look how tall Steve looks on my GS compared to Turbo One on his Busa. What a difference. These gauges are adjustable also. They can, yep, you can move them forward and back. This windscreen can be adjusted with one hand while riding. That is magnificent. I'm gonna keep it up because I'm tall. Man, this bike's nice. Now, the question that I was asking, that I was wondering before I rode this bike was, how comfortable would it have been for me to ride this bike 4 hours like I did on my GS from Filthy Cleveland north of Detroit? And I can tell you, it'll be very comfortable. Of course, there's a little bit more wind turbulence, so I'll get blown around a little bit more, but that's fine. That's totally fine. I love the mirror stalk in this bike too. It's really great. Single piece of aluminum, looks fantastic. And it puts the mirror in the perfect spot where it's not just, you know, focused on your elbow. You can see what's behind you, which in this case is a Turbo Busa. So Steve was doing some pretty awesome wheelies on this bike earlier. This is Steve's bike. I'm not going to try to wheelie it, but the bike can wheelie. That's one thing that kind of bothers me when I let people ride my motorcycles. I'll see them doing wheelies and burnouts. You're not really supposed to do that on a bike that you're borrowing from someone, folks. The same as when you're going to a manufacturer press launch. It's probably not a good idea to wheelie and you know, rag on their bikes either, unless of course you're Adam Waheed and his golden locks of hair. You can do whatever you want and get away with it because your skill level is through the roof. Definitely more of a race bike, and the GS is more of a adventure touring bike or something, because the way this thing just leaves, wow, savagery stuff. So what are my final thoughts on Steve's amazing 2022 Ducati MultiStrada V4 Pikes Peak right behind me there? It's an amazing bike. Wish I could have rode it more, but we ran out of time. The brief time that I was on it, it's a fantastic bike. Handles great, delivers a lot of power. The gauges are clear and crisp, anti-glare, has all of the new technology on it. Just walk over there and take a look, man. I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. Single-sided swinging arm, forged Marchesini wheels. It even comes with an Akrapovic exhaust, albeit Steve and other people will probably remove that exhaust and replace it with the full system. I have a suggestion for Steve too when he comes back off the turbo boost. He's about to race Turbo Warren. Is to just cut this right about there and move his plate right up there. Because I'd want to keep these beautiful light-emitting diode turn signals, but I want my plate higher and expose more of the wheel. And of course, those guys have to race Turbo Warren on his naturally aspirated bike versus Steve 5 Up Motorcycles on Anthony's Turbo Busa. Man, it's kind of from, oh, look at that. Look at the spoilers on this thing. Super nice. Jeez. Those guys know how to have, oh man, sonic boom again. Another one. Those guys, another one. Jeez. Those guys know how to have a lot of fun, and so do we on these supposedly adventure motorcycles that we're riding like hooligans on these delightful streets. So I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video. The Ducati MultiStrada V4 Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak is a 650E pick motorcycle to get. I would purchase this bike if I were you. I'd definitely consider it. Beautiful LED headlights in the front. They are super bright as well. And like most modern Ducatis, it has the daytime running lights that look really, really good. And then you can put the high beams on to expose all of those freaking LEDs. Totally gorgeous. Quick shift and auto blip work amazing on this bike. You guys know that. And it even has a little thing that cuts the power if you don't start the bike up at a certain amount of time. Which I want to do, but those guys are coming back on those loud motorcycles. Those are the anti-glare gauges we talked about earlier. It can give you music with album art, I believe, turn-by-turn navigation, caller ID with pictures, supposedly. I'm gonna have to do another review on this bike when I can get one for more time. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. A more in-depth review of this machine, but for right now, it's a great bike. Thanks for viewing, guys. We'll catch you next time on the 650E YouTube channel.